Welcome back to some more MLE Esports action. This is Bear, here with me is Grant, and this is MLE presented by APM Music. Grant, what are the lineups tonight?
For the Hive, we got Nigel Thornback, Mr. Cheeks, and one Pop Shop. Making sure, yes I did. It was just a little bit cut off, but nothing too major. And then for the Aviators, we have Dojarino, Term, and Cursing Duck. All these players, especially if you're an AL, are very well known, especially if you're just trying to scrim every now and then. I've gone against all of them. I've gone against all of them, and I played with some of them too. I let you take this because I am slightly biased.
Slightly biased? Why don't you tell us how you are biased just for the fun of it?
Well, you see, the Aviators, those are my boys, you know. As an Aviator player, it's fun to get to cast them as well as just to watch them. So excited to see how they perform, but I recognize a lot, like I said, the Hive players. All those names look familiar, and they're also good players. So we have a definite and a very good matchup lined up for us here tonight.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, we've got Aviators and Hive. If we look at Hive stats in ACAD, not CL, let me scoot this a little bit more. Hive, sorry, I was looking at Hive. They are currently ranked 27th overall. They have a 3-7 stat so far, so a 30% win rate or so. Not the best, but you know, not the worst. And then do you have the stats pulled up? You want to give us the Aviators, or do you want me to hit those?
I'll
two?
let you do that.
Okay, so for Aviators, we have a 5-5 win rate, so 50% win rate, not bad at all. It's good to be at a 50% win rate, at least as a player, and so, you know, they're not doing too bad. I said 5-5, they are number 16th in ACAD threes. But we are about to get into the match. It looks like we have players joining right now. But yeah, just super excited for the match. It's bound to be a good one.
Indeed, we have the players on the pitch. The Aviators versus the Hive here in AL. And to start it off, we have the Hive already able to get the ball onto the Aviator side of the pitch. Guys, I say that the ball is now on that Hive side. Aviator's starting to get that offensive pressure building, but it's in the corner. Term able to put the ball. It's floating towards the middle and just in front of the net, but Mr. Cheeks able to get the clear, send it down the pitch, able to get it over one. Bouncing up, that could be dangerous if the Hive can capitalize, but they weren't able to. Kristen able to get a nice 50 right there. Cheeks trying to get a little clear. Term setting it up, but Nigel Thornback able to be in the perfect spot, sending it just into the corner. Dojarino, though, able to put it, keeping it on the Hive side of the pitch. Term able to get a nice little 50. Cheeks trying to look for a pass back, might be dangerous. Dojarino able to come in, sends it off, and it looks like it bounced just wide. Looks like one of the Hive players might have accidentally hit that in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, looking at this instant replay, it looks like they may have gotten bumped by Dojarino right after Dojarino put it in the perfect spot for a second pass, which he then used another player to hit in.
Just after the kickoff. Goal is already 1-0, but we still have 4 minutes left here in this game. The Hive, Nigel almost had an insane 50 and double tap coming in right there. Doe is trying to go in off the ceiling, just barely misses the touch. Term, though, able to send it into the corner. Cursing Duck able to take control, trying to keep it on the Hive side. Term able to get the turn. Trying not to confuse Term and turn a bit, but Nigel able to slide it just inside the net. The Aviators had a little bit of a double commit there. And Cursing Duck was the last one back. Tried to go for the demo, but wasn't able to get a strong enough bump even. And Nigel able to just send that into the bottom right of the net.
Nigel definitely going for the foot race there, and that was a foot race he was able to win. Here on kickoff, Mr. Cheeks is going to hit it over to the Aviator side. We've, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've kind of seen a pretty even matchup so far. We've got the score 1-1. Obviously, Aviators took the first lead, but Hive came back pretty quickly. Is this what we're expecting this match, Grant?
Kind of seems like that. A nice little shot, though, as we're talking about that, from Nigel, able to get on top of the ball and able just to send it down. It looks like Cursing Duck might have been No, it was Term trying to come in for the save from just at the point where the crossbar missed the post, but wasn't able to get far enough to get the save. Then the Hive take the lead. We still have 3 minutes left to go. Both teams kind of going in a little bit of a back and forth. But even when it comes to that, both teams are still decent and very good when it comes to that defense, as well as like all the Aviators, if I was not mistaken, all have a save as compared to the Hive. None of them have a save, but they also have 6 shots as compared to the ones from the Aviators. And as we're talking, one pop shot, able to make a one-stop shop and able to put the ball into the back of the net. I need to stop with these puns. That is Fallen's department and not mine.
Yeah, Cursing Duck not quite able to get to that ball, and the one-stop shop or one-pop shot ready there to put the ball in the net. Here's Term, though, trying to come back. You know, they're down 2. He's doing whatever he can, or they're doing whatever they can do to try and get a little bit of offense going for the Aviators. Aviators just trying to break the rhythm of the Hive. The Hive definitely starting to seem like they're getting in their groove.
A little bit of an awkward bunch up in that corner, but one pop shot able to send it into the opposing side. Nigel able to be there to meet it. Those trying to get the clear, sends it right into Nigel. Nigel able to send it into the corner. Term trying to get the 50 to send it out, but instead it gets set up, and one pop shot able to fly in there and able to send it to the right side of the net, increasing the lead of the Hive.
Very well done shot. A little bit of a bounce off the corner makes it work just perfectly. We've got Dodgerino and Mr. Cheeks off on the kickoff. Cursing Duck ready there to pick up the ball, and Term now getting it moved over to the Hive side. Aviators still just trying to pick up on offense, keep the pressure going, and they're doing that mighty fine there. It looked almost like Doggerino might have been trying to get it past the Term, or maybe was just trying to carry it. You know, that's where communication skills come in, and we're just gonna hope that they did what they were meant to. Dodgerino now getting it over, trying to look for a teammate mid and see if he can get it there for him. Term is gonna pick it up. Is this the attack? Oh, here's Term with a shot to make the score 4-2. With the way Aviators are playing now, is this what you think they need to come back with a minute 40?
With how they're playing right now, definitely useful, but even as we saw, they were able to get that offensive pressure building. I don't think Term was really the one that I think it was Dodgerino was looking for that pass. It looked like they were trying to find Cursing Duck, but the Hive were able to get that demo, so it looks like the Hive might be starting that physical game, which could be exactly what they need if they want to be able to keep their lead at what it is at right now. But as well as that clear, though, coming up from Nigel, able to send it down. Term able to get the meat, giving it one pop shot, send it down into the corner. Cursing Duck a little awkward. Nigel with a nice demo. But the net open with a nice 50 coming out from the Aviators. Ball might be just over. Doge able to be there, putting it into the corner. Cursing Duck able to take it, trying to take it off the mid wall, trying to get a pitch, but one pop shot was able to get the 50 instead. A nice 50 though coming out from Doge, able to send it into the corner. The Aviators have a chance here, able to send it in. Doge was trying to get the pass back towards mid, but wasn't able to do so. Now Doge trying to take it off the wall, gets a fake in the process. Term gets sent flying. Cursing Duck though able to be back and able to get the catch. Might try to pinch it off the wall, tries to do so. Unable to do it, sends it over to Term. Term able to take it, sending it down into the Hive's corner. Mr. Cheeks trying to get a touch, gets 50'd instead, but Nigel able to put it back into the corner. Term starting to see that offensive pressure coming back out from the Aviators, trying to keep the ball on the Hive side of the pitch, which is definitely something they need to do here as we approach the 10 seconds remaining in game 1.
Yes, I don't know if there is enough time now for the Aviators to come back, but the Aviators we're seeing in the second half of this game compared to the first half is the Aviators we're going to want to see going into game 2 to see if Aviators could get a win. Wouldn't you say, Grant?
Very much indeed. It's exactly what the Aviators need to do in that situation. Because we saw it at the beginning, they were able to keep that offensive pressure going. But as it went on, it started to seem like they started to fall a little back, and the Hive were able to keep that offensive pressure going. As we can compare the shots, the 9 from the Hive as compared to the 4 from the Aviators. You can even see the Aviators, they still had that defense, the 4 saves as compared to the Hive's 1. But when it, especially at this point, I was kind of looking back over to just to see, it's like maybe the Aviators need to do more team plays, but all their goals were assisted by one another. So right now it seems to be anyone's game, but the Aviators definitely need to keep it up what we were seeing there in that last half.
Definitely. I agree. I think the passes from Aviators are they're planned. We definitely are seeing a lot more aggressiveness from Hive, and it's making it hard for the Aviators to maybe find the teammates they're wanting to find. But if Aviators keep up the passing like they have been, or at least trying to find their teammates mid, getting the ball to them, I think there's a good chance for Aviators this game.
Indeed, and like we said, it was just once the Aviators, they had the defensive pressure building up at the beginning, and then it kind of fell down a little bit, and the Hive were able to turn that offensive pressure into their favor and able to keep it on the Aviators side of the pitch majority of that time. But now here, as we enter into Neo Tokyo for game 2, Kirsty Duck looking for a pass. Doge able to be there, gets the shot, but Nigel able to get the save, and we got one pop shot, able to send it down the pitch. Doge able to turn and able to get that 50, but it's still sending it back out. Mr. Cheeks able to put it into the corner, met by Kirsty Duck. Term though able to get the clear, trying to get the follow, isn't able to get there in time though, and with that it gets sent down to the Hive side, and Nigel get the touch, trying to keep control for the Hive, able to keep that 50 and able to keep it on the Aviators side of the pitch.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot coming from these teams here. Definitely Hive trying to keep all the offensive pressure for themselves. That being said, right as I say that, Aviators making a little bit of a push. Term to get it past all 3 defenders with a little bit of a carry right into Hive's goal.
Need a nice little pop and able to get just another little touch to send it just a little faster than one pop shot was expecting. And with just under a minute passing, the Aviators are able to get that 1-goal lead, but now the Hive looking to equalize here in game 2, with the Hive able to get control, able to send it back down to the Aviators corner. Doge looking to get the clearance, able to do so. Only one Hive player, Mr. Cheeks, is back. Doge able to get the 50. Nigel able to get the demo. Ball's in a dangerous spot. A double whiff coming out. And, you know, sometimes even, especially if you're in AL, we just call it, they're not really whiffs. They're called tactical whiffs. They will eventually work out for something.
Yeah.
It will eventually lead to something.
Eventually. Here we are. Aviators definitely making a little bit more of a push again. On their last push, they had very good offensive pressure, but one of the Hive was able to demo the player that they were trying to pass it to, and if you don't have a shooter, then the ball is just going to sit there. And that being said, here we are back with Aviators putting a good push on Hive again. Right as I say that, Hive gets a little bit of a push on the Aviators. It's in the corner. One pop shot is going to knock it mid, looking for Mr. Cheeks. A little bit of a double commit there, and Cursing Duck not quite able to get to the shot from Nigel.
And right there, it was just a little bit of not really sure if the teammate was able to get it, didn't really trust, which is definitely something that can affect the team's play, especially right there to get that clear. The process, Cursing was able to turn around, but wasn't able to get to the ball in time to keep it from out of the net. And then we just passed the 3 minutes remaining point, and now we're tied 1-1, and the Hive starting to build that pressure back up once again, with Nigel able to send it just high and off the backboard. A bump coming out from the Hive. One pop shot, able to send it back into the Aviators corner. Term looking to get it clear, able to send it down the field and even into the Hive's territory, which is exactly what the Aviators need to be doing here as compared to what we saw earlier. They were able to keep that pressure going, but they started to fall apart. But it's like once you get a goal, especially with the Hive, they're able to build off of the momentum of that goal and able to keep that pressure going. That's almost the same story as when the Aviators were able to do the same thing, able to put a ball into the back of the net. They can build off of that, build some momentum, and able to keep the pressure going. And a nice little play coming out from the Hive to send it high. Kirsten Duck trying to get an aerial, just barely misses it. It looks like they ran out of boost in the process. Doge now able to meet the ball, bounces towards mid. Doge might be going for a bump. Isn't able to get it on Mr. Cheese, but gets it on another. Cursing Doug looking to go for a little clip. Sends it to Term, and Term able to be there for when the ball dropped. It's almost Happy New Year. I need to stop. And now the term, I keep wanting to say the terms because he is the FM, fun fact. So I guess it's almost the same thing, but not really. I'm going to get fired, so it's all good. And now the score is 2-1 with just under 2 minutes left here in game 2.
So you have to be extra nice to Aviators now, because not only is it your team, but also your franchise manager is on the team. So
yeah.
So no talking bad about Term. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but there isn't really anything to talk bad about him, to be honest with you. Like, no nothing.
That's a good point. Looking at Term stats, actually, he's done very well. He's the player who's gotten both goals for the Aviators here. He's playing good on both offense and defense. Here we are. His rotations, you know, they're on point, and you know, it's always said go to the basics. Term has those basics, and with that shot we saw earlier, he's got the complicatedness too. And here's another one from Term himself. Speak of the devil, as you might say. Nigel not quite able to get there.
Nice control coming out from Term. Realized he had a lot of space and time to work with, was able to do so, even though he was low on boost. Was still able to get control of the ball, pick up a couple of small pads, which can be very effective, and they were in that situation. Term was able to get control and able to put it on top of his car and just popping it over the Hive player. Nice bump coming out from Cursing Doug, but one pop shot, able to do the same right back to Term. Now Nigel Thornback able to get the ball up, trying to get a shot off the backboard, but wasn't able to do so. Term now trying to clear the ball. Doge in the corner, able to get a save. The ball kind of bounces back, but Doge able to come out on top of the 50, able to follow it up. Now Doge looking to pass it towards mid, but Nigel not wanting to give them that opportunity to increase their lead. Cursey Duck trying to get a center. Look like they might have run out of boost in the process. Now one pop shot, looking to try to give another goal opportunity for the Hive. As the time dwindles down, looks like it may be the Aviators game. That last goal from Term being the nail in the coffin, and the series is now 1-1.
Yeah, what do we need to look into going into game 2? We've got 1 win for the Hive, and we've got 1 win for the Aviators. What's your hot take on game 3?
Especially when looking back, like the Hive, they had the defensive pressure in game 1. If they were able to bring that back, they could take game 3 as well. But in that last game, it looked like there was more. We saw more of the physical plays even coming out from both teams. Even though they may not have been demos, but even a decent bump play can be effective here. And even just having a couple of those solo plays, we saw that coming out from Term even. Was able to get a couple of those solo plays, especially that last shot, able to take the ball, realize that they have time to get on top of the car, not even get a flick, just take it up and just do a little single jump and pop it over the defender. It could be extremely effective, but even the Hive, they had that chance. They had more shots than the Aviators in total in the game, but just by 1. It just seemed like the Hive, especially in this past game, are struggling a little bit on trying to get it out of their half as compared to what the Aviators were able to do.
Yeah, looking into game 3, Aviators definitely good with their control over the ball and not throwing the ball away. In looking at game 1, we saw lots of physicality from Hive, and I think if we see that same physical activity going towards game 3, Hive could have this, or if we see the same control from Aviators could have this.
Already starting off. Aviators trying to keep that pressure going, but Hive with a shot opportunity, able to get it past 1, but Term able to be there to get the save and even to send it down the pitch to clear it out, making the Hive have to turn to an immediate 180 to turn right back around. One pop shot, able to get a nice little clear, but met by Cursing Duck. Duck now in the corner, a little awkward, stopped a little bit and fell short of the ball. Still in the Aviators corner. Term trying to get it out, isn't able to do so. The Hive now starting to keep that pressure going. All they're really doing is putting it in that corner, but that can be extremely effective just to keep that pressure going. Term now looking to try to get it clear. It sends it down the pitch. It could be on target as well, and it is. But now the Hive have control in their corner, coming out from Nigel. Nigel doesn't have any boost in the process. Trying to send it down, wasn't able to do so. Term now looking to center it, but Mr. Cheeks able to be there, and Nigel able to get the touch, send it down to the Aviator side of the pitch.
Yeah, here we are. Hive trying to get a little bit shot on the Aviators, but it's going to be saved by Dodgerino. Here's Cursing Duck now making a little bit of a move for Aviators. It's going to get knocked over to the corner, though, by one pop shop. It's now mid anybody's ball. Possible shots could have been taken there, but we'll take a little hit to the side. Mr. Cheeks going to knock it towards Aviator's goal. We're seeing a lot of pressure from this Hive team right now. Hive is definitely coming back like they were in game 1 with the offensive pressure. A little demo just there by Term to get one of the Hive members out of the way, and then one by Cursing Duck. They're looking for a shot opportunity, but nobody is going to be able to take a pass from that shot when it gets knocked away that quickly.
You know, the double coming out from the Hive, but nobody from the Hive was really able to be there. Nigel was there, but they probably couldn't see through the smoke. It kind of worked against the Hive as compared to being for them, but now we have Doge here in the corner, able to get a nice little touch off the corner, sending it one pop shot, able to send it off the backboard. Nigel able to be there, but it gets blocked and put into the corner. Mr. Chiefs able to get there, putting it into the corner and off the wall. A little bit of a misread. Cursing Duck has to go up, is able to get the block, send it down the pitch. Mr. Chiefs able to come out on top of that 50, and Term getting demoed might cost him, and it does here as we just passed the halfway point, and Nigel able to put one in and able to give an early lead, and even an early lead, just a lead in general to the Hive.
Yeah, we saw Dodgerino almost there with the save. He even got a save off of that, maybe even 2. But not much you can do. If somebody's on top of you, they're gonna win in a 50-90% of the time, and that was just one of those times. That being said, Cursing Duck looking for somebody mid, not quite able to get a 50 there to get it towards the middle, but Aviators not necessarily playing bad, but we definitely are seeing Hive from game 1 coming back with that offensive pressure and even the physicality, and we've even seen a little bit of physicality from Aviators as well. What do you think Aviators need to do at this point with 2 minutes left to come back?
Right now it kind of looks like we're just going to see a bit more of those double commits starting to come out, but as I say, that nice double save coming out from the Aviators. But they're starting, like, once that goal came in from the Hive are able to build off of that, like we kind of mentioned earlier, and able to keep that momentum going, and Mr. Cheeks able to get that nice little pop, sending it into the net, just a little bit of a floater, and Doge just getting to the net, not really facing the right way, and it finds its way into the back of the net, and the Hive increase their lead to 2.
Yeah, absolutely. A good little pass from Nigel as well, coming off the wall and bringing it right in front of Mr. Cheeks. Here's one pop shop, though, already looking for another shot. Nigel's going to carry it, looking for a teammate mid, but Dodgerino's going to knock it away and take it down to the Hive side and gets a shot. It looks like Cursing Duck is actually the one that got that. A nice little shot, just the ball comes off the wall, gets a little bit of a hit, redirect into Hive's net.
And that's exactly what the Aviators need. They can get that goal, they can build off of that and keep that momentum going to help them out. And that good play coming out from the Aviators, especially right off that kickoff. Doge had a shot opportunity, sends it just wide. Cursing Duck looking to keep it on the Hive side of the pitch. Mr. Cheese has other thoughts, trying to get the clear, giving it to one pop shop, able to get it, pops it up into the air, and able to keep it going. The Aviators, though, a little bit of a double commit. It still works out in their favor. Net can be open. Duck just has to get the 50 and is able to do so. Duck coming in clutch for the Aviators. We are now tied with just under a minute left.
Absolutely. This is what you want to see from the Aviators if you wanted a close game, because now it is a very close game. So close that it is tied with a minute remaining. This may be an overtime game is almost the way it's looking at right now.
It's definitely, unless one pop shop has something to say about it. Now Term able to get the pop up into the air, met by Doge and Nigel, getting the 50, still bounces into the Hive side of the pitch. A nice little pop coming out from the Hive. Cursing able to get the mean, able to put it into the corner. Cursing looking for another touch. Doge trying to finish it into the back of the net. isn't able to do so. Term now looking to center the ball, sends it a little too speedy, but is still met by one of the Hive players. One pop shot, able to keep it into the midfield. Nigel popping it up once again and giving it to Mr. Cheeks. Mr. Cheeks able to be there, but met by Term. Nigel now with control in the corner. Might be turning, able to go. One pop shot, trying to go for a bump. Isn't able to make a connection on the demo. Ball is still in a dangerous territory for the Aviators. Aviators try to get the clear, aren't able to do so. The ball's in a dangerous spot. A save coming out from Term. Ball's still there, but a nice save, and we are in overtime in game number 3.
Aviators definitely wanting the ball to hit the ground there. 0 seconds hit, and you know, in their mind it's right in front of their goal. They're thinking, what can they do to get this to touch to go into overtime?
And it was a great touch. I would have sent it just wide, but the Hive already coming right back at it, trying to go for a double touch. It just hits the bar. After that, the Hive able to be there, keeping that pressure going, sending it right back to the net. Shot after shot. The Aviators are on their toes, able to get the clear. A nice pinching clear, especially coming out from Term, and one pop shot. Term with a shot opportunity, sends it in, but Nigel able to get the save as the ball was just entering the net. There was barely any part of that ball out of the net at that moment. Doge now able to send it high, just off the backboard, as the White tries to follow it up. Isn't able to get the double. One pop shot, able to send it into the corner. Met. One pop shot, able to get the demo as well. That could settle it. Doge able to be there, though, able to get the touch. Sending it high, sending it back into the Aviators corner. Mr. Cheese trying to pass it in to Nigel. Nigel able to get the touch, met by Cursing. Cursing able to get the pop. Doge trying to send it over one of the Hive players, isn't able to do so. Term trying to send it down the pitch, was able to get the touch, but wasn't able to follow it up. Doge now looking to try to center it. Had a weird little bounce, wasn't able to keep following it. Nice little bump though coming out from Doge. Wasn't enough to get the Hive out of their side of the pitch, and now the Aviators have turned the tables, and as I said, a banging of a clear coming out could be dangerous, and it bounces out the crossbar up and down and goes into the net, and the Hive take game 3.
You called that one perfectly. It could be dangerous, and then one pop shot to make it dangerous as he gets the win for Hive. That's all you can say about that. He got the win for Hive with that little touch right there.
Indeed. And when it comes to that, yeah, a team can be aggressive. They can keep that pressure going. But when it comes to that, when a team is committed that much, they're able to keep that pressure, that could be good. But if the other team you're going against is able to get that clear, you have nobody back. The Aviators looked like they had somebody just getting back, but with that ball and where it landed on that crossbar, just bounced into the net and just slowly worked its way in until it went in all the way. And just like that, the Hive now have the lead of the series 2-1.
Absolutely. Looking at these stats, they're actually a little ridiculous. Hive, we see Nigel with 6 shots on net, Mr. Cheeks 4, one pop shot 5, and then we see the same type of stats coming from the Aviators, as well as the saves. Aviators had 8 saves in one game, and Hive had 8 saves as well. So, you know, just absolutely ridiculous from both of these teams, both playing amazing defense and amazing offense, both putting lots of offensive pressure that game. It's just Hive did a little bit better, you can put that.
Yeah, especially like looking back at it, a lot of the goals that were scored during that game were just to the point where people were able to get control of the ball, are able to position themselves, either able to get a banging of a clear like we saw one pop shot do for that overtime goal, or as compared to the Aviators, they were able to get those 50s and able to get those plays to the point where they were able to take it around the Hive and able to put it into the back of the net. But here, as we enter in the Coliseum for game number 4, like Fallen said earlier, this could be a make or break. It's either somebody's favorite map or it's somebody's least favorite map. It can depend as compared to what we have had before, but already starting off, ball's kind of just sitting in the midfield. Doge though able to get a touch, sending it into the Hive side of the field, and Aviators able to keep that offensive pressure going.
Yeah, Aviators doing an amazing job. Here's Doge again, just trying to get an offensive or a defensive clear to put them on offense. Duck trying to get a little bit of a hit, not quite able to. Term, and here's Doge again. Here comes Term. They're all just trying to get in defensive clear and make it where they are on offense again, but one pop shot to make sure that they don't get the chance to do that.
He had a great touch coming out from Mr. Cheeks, able to get a nice little touch. Duck was there, but one pop shot was able to put his car into a better position to get that 50, and it worked out for him. And the Hive take an early lead with just under a minute passing here in game number 4.
Yeah, game number 4, we've got a 2-1 Hive in the lead with 2 series versus Aviators 1 for those just coming in. Very close matches. That we've seen very close matches these last 3 games. Game 4 doesn't look like much of a change. A good clear from Cursing Duck, now with a little bit of an offensive pressure, but to get demoed by Mr. Cheeks. Not much you can do if you're no longer on the field. But here's Cursing Duck again to keep Aviators on offense. Dodgerino getting it mid. One pop shot, thinking he's going to clear it, but turned just to 50 immediately. Dodgerino now back again. Just Aviators doing really good at trying to keep themselves on offense here.
Yeah, and as we say that, they're able to get the clear, but it's met by Nigel in the midfield. Cursing looking to do the same, able to pop it up into the sky, into the heavens, but is met by Cursing Duck. Doge now with control, trying to get it by 1. Is able to do so. Is able to get the bump as well. Term able to pop it. One pop shot was there, but it was a little slower than they were ready for, and they weren't able to get back around after they jumped for that. Just a little too fast. I mean, flew by it, tried to recover, wasn't able to do so, and Term able to equalize the Aviators and the Hive here in game number 4.
Yeah, Dodgerino put it right in front of Term for that shot, and it just worked out so perfectly. Here we see Doge again taking it, trying to take it over to the Hive side, not quite able to get it there. Term's going to knock it off the wall to Doge, though. Here's one pop shot, knocking it towards the mid. Term there to meet Nigel. Nigel, though, is going to get a nice little pop on it. One pop shot, not quite able to get the pop, and it's going to be missed, and Doge to carry it over to the Hive side.
And starting to see that defensive pressure. The Aviators able to get that goal and able to build off it. A nice demo coming out from Term, though. Able to kind of give him a little bit more of a break, but as I say that, Mr. Cheeks is able to turn around, able to get there. We get the 50, keeping the ball in the Aviators side of the pitch. Cursing Duck trying to get a 50 as well. One pop shot, trying to get the bump, wasn't able to make a connection with it. And Nigel able to help Mr. Cheeks with that 50. Doge starting to try to go up for the aerial, just barely misses it. Aviators in a little bit of a weird spot. Term able to get an interesting little touch there, but it was enough to make it work. And definitely starting to see more of that aggressive play style coming out from both of these teams here. Starting to see the demos, especially coming from Term. And even I think almost all the Hive have had at least one demo now. Just both teams trying to make sure they can clear the field to give them more time to recover, to send it back down the pitch. But each demo is usually met with another demo. A nice bump coming out from the Aviators. Doge able to put it in to the center of the net. And the Aviators take the lead here in game number 4.
That was an amazing bump from Term just to keep Mr. Cheeks from being able to do anything on defense there, and it gave the ball to Doge just perfect enough to where he could float it in.
And a nice 50 coming out from kickoff from the Aviators, but the Hive able to capitalize on it. It is now on the Aviator side. A demo coming out from Doge. That could be exactly what they need. Mr. Cheeks, though, with a shot met by Cursing. Cursing trying to get a touch. Gets bumped in the process. Now, Doge trying to get a read, wasn't able to do so. A powerful shot coming out from one pop shot. And Term was able to, it was in the right spot, but didn't expect the speed from that cannon known as one pop shot. And with that, boom, the game is now tied 2-2.
Very close game. Like you said, Term was there, just wasn't quite ready, and it gave one pop shot the opportunity to tie up the game, and that's what he did. Here's Cursing Duck trying to keep it mid, but Term is actually going to be the one to do it. Nigel, though, taking it all the way to the Aviator side, not quite able to get the touch to make it go in the net, was a little off there. Here's Term and Duck in the corner. Term's going to follow up and get a 50, and Cursing Duck to knock it towards the Hive side. Mr. Cheeks here looking for a shot, but Term is going to block him, not let him go anywhere with it. Term in the corner, there to meet Nigel, but Nigel gets it past him. Cursing Duck waiting on Nigel's hit, gets a little bit of a touch maybe, but Doge is going to be the one to save the Aviators here.
The Aviators still trying to look for that clearance so they can have a little bit of a breathing time. And as I say that, Doge is able to do so with that pinch, sending it down into the Hive's corner. One pop shot trying to take it. That might be it. That shot from Term. Great shot coming out from the corner, it looked like. Able to get that touch, sending it over into the net. Mr. Cheeks trying to get back, but wasn't able to get behind the ball enough. And the Aviators take the lead. 8 seconds left. The Hive have a chance. It's just going to have to be a kickoff goal here in game number 4. Cursing Duck, though, with control. Aviators are going to try to just stall for time. And it looks like they're able to do so. And the series is now 2-2. And we are going to game 5, most definitely.
Most definitely. And this is one of those game 5s where game 5s always matter. But this one really matters. This decides who wins the series. Looking at the stats from this last game are a lot different than the stats we saw in Game 3. Game 3, both teams had ridiculous amounts of shots and both teams had ridiculous amounts of saves. This game, though, we're looking, there was only 2 saves that entire game, both from the Aviators team. Shots-wise, Hive had 7 shots and Aviators had 3, so it's a completely different game almost than what we saw in Game 3, yet just as close.
Yeah, especially, which, like you said earlier, a lot of these games have been really close. Majority of them, in fact, I think all of them have been almost 1-goal deficits. Not really much happening. It's just a lot of back and forth. The Aviators will score, then the Hive will score, then the Aviators score again, the Hive score, and then we either go into overtime or just like what we saw, Term was able to get that nice touch and put it into the back of the net with just 8 seconds left. And now we're getting the players as they enter Manfield. We have game 5 to decide who takes the series between the Aviators and the Hive.
Yep, it looks like we're going to have Term and Nigel on the kickoff here. We're waiting on the game to get started. Here we go. It looks like we are going to have some cheats on the field. Mr. Cheeks ready there to follow it up, but One Pop Shop is actually going to be the one to put it on the Aviator side. Cursing Duck, though, with a massive clear, but then gets demoed by One Pop Shot. Ball's going mid to turn from Term to Dodgerino, but not quite able to make any contact there. Cursing Duck with a little bit of a clear, but One Pop Shop. If we talk about One Pop Shop here for a second, he really seems to be that player for the Hive, absolutely getting massive clears and challenging everything. And speaking of him, he just scored a goal.
Yeah, Cursing Duck was able to get a touch, but it wasn't the best touch. It just sent it kind of high, and it even bounced outward, which One Pop Shop was able to get, calculate, and see where it was landing, and able to bury it into the back of the net, giving the Hive that early lead here in Game 5. And already seeing it return, but I'm starting to notice that now we're starting to see a lot more of the clearing game coming out from both teams. They're just kind of sending it down the field, which can be useful to give your team able to recover, able to get those rotations in fully. But it's just kind of going back and forth now. Term trying to go for that 50, isn't able to make a connection. Cursing Duck setting himself up, tries to go up, able to put it up just high and off the backboard. Term now able to look to do the same, jumps up for it, looks for the touch, sends it just wide, but instead he's able to get the read off the backboard and puts it in the far left side of the pit goal.
Absolutely. Term just absolute beast. That's the only way I can think to put it. An amazing double tap, and those angles, am I Grant? Those angles? Mm-hmm. Did y'all practice those?
I want to say yes, but it looks like Term has definitely practiced those. Definitely came out, and a little bit of a mistouch might end up for a chance for the Aviators. But as I say that, starting to see more of that demo, like the demo action is starting to come out, and the physical plays definitely showing up and be very useful in this situation right now. Nigel going for a boost steal over on the Aviator side, wasn't able to, the boost didn't spawn for him. So right now, Cursing able to get the touch and able to get that corner boost, able to get the 50 now. Nigel able to be there, sends it into the Aviator's corner. Nigel able to pop the ball back up. A little bit of a double commit though coming out from the Hive. Nigel has to race back to be that one to try to get the ball. Is able to do so. Doge able to get a little bit of a touch to slow it down, but not by much, as Nigel's able to be there to meet. And one pop shot able to send it into the corner. Cursing Duck just in the middle of rotating out, giving it to Term. Term off the backboard. One pop shot though, able to get a nice little touch, send it into the corner, met by Term. Pop shot trying to get the clear, wasn't able to do so. Hive getting these slight touches, but they're just enough to the point where they work out in a huge favor of the Hive. Nice 50 coming out from Mr. Cheeks. Could be dangerous, but Nigel just a little high of the ball. One pop shot, able to get the touch. Doge able to get the clear. Nigel trying to get the demo, wasn't able to make a connection. Cursing now booms it down the field. He's able to put it into the corner, just barely wide of the net. Doge now having to race back so that they can get into position to save the ball. Nigel up, Term ill, able to send it back into the corner, and it is cleared by Cursing Duck.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of offense here from Hive, but still some very good defensive movements by the Aviators. There's Term making sure he knocks the ball the way he wants it to go and not towards the net. Very well done. Mr. Cheeks missing the ball though, giving it to Dodgerino for the double tap, and he gets it past a one pop shot with ease.
Yeah, it was a great shot. A little bit of a miss coming out from the Hive, and so Doge was able to capitalize on it, keeping it going, able to send it wide, and able to give it right back to themselves and put it into the far right, out of the reach of any Hive player. And now back on the kickoff, Doge looking to send it high, and might waterfall just down in time, but gets blocked by one of the Hive players. It's back out. Term though looking for a shot with zero boost, just had a double jump, was able to get the touch, put it into the corner. It's enough to kind of slow down the Hive's offensive. Nigel though looking to take it down the field with an air dribble just wide of the net. Nigel with zero boost, still looking to be inside of the play, but gets demoed in the process. One pop shot, trying to get a touch, gets denied and gets popped over by Cursing Duck. Nigel able to get a nice little 50. One pop shot, able to get control, trying to take it down the pitch. Cursing Duck, along with, I think it was Doge, trying to keep the ball from really going into the net. Term getting a nice little 50. That could be it. Just off the backboard. Term trying to be there for the second touch. Isn't able to do so. Doge now sending it just high off the backboard. Met by Nigel. Nigel able to get the touch, but met by Term. Ball's now in near the midfield and on the wall. One pop shot, able to pop it towards mid. A double commit once again coming out from the Hive. They're getting a little desperate for that goal. They're still able to capitalize and get control. Having that one person back who's able to get there and trying to make sure the ball doesn't go into the net. Aviators starting to have that offensive pressure like we've been wanting to see for a while, at least that I've been wanting to see. But as 30 seconds left, the Hive need to capitalize. They need to get the clear to buy them some time and even able to recover a little bit. But the Aviators not really giving them much opportunity. That demo working more in favor of the Hive as compared to the Aviators.
Exactly what you said. We've got 13 seconds left, and Hive definitely was getting desperate there for a second. This is the Game 5 match. Score 1-2, 4 seconds left. Hive looking for a teammate mid, but Term's going to knock it away, make sure nothing's able to happen with play Dodgerino to keep it up, but it is going to eventually hit the ground. What a Game 5. All 5 of those games were just as close. I think they all were a 1-point difference. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. This entire series was really close. Like, every game was by 1 goal, either made with just a couple of seconds left in regular time, or even when we had, I think we went to overtime in game 2, I think it was. And the Hive, I think, were able to take that one. But in the long run, the series is now 3-2, and the Aviators take it. And like we said, it was a well-fought battle. Even though the Hive didn't come out on top, they still fought valiantly. The Aviators were just a slight of the way better when it came to that pressure, and they were able to work on top of it. And like we said, they were able to take the series.
Yeah, looking at the stats, we see Aviators were the ultimate winners. Chat predicted that. We have 90% going towards the Aviators. I don't know what they like about your team, Grant, but obviously they like it a lot. Chat definitely thought Aviators were going to win, and it came down to Game 5, and Aviators won. Any closing words, Grant?
No, just looking forward to the rest of the action that we have here tonight. Stay tuned for more.
Absolutely. We'll see you right after this break.